It has been a while. Like so many creators out there, I have had something of a difficult year, and that has led to a little bit of, well, not a little bit, it's led to many, many months of not making a video. And I know quite clearly I'm not required to either explain myself or come back at all. It's certainly, there's no gun to my head. It's just been on my mind for a very long time. This impulse to make things, which is what drove me to begin with, to start the channel, is it's still there. Of course, it's just been dormant. Like so many things, it's had to go fallow for a little while I attended to other things. And I have some ideas for stories to share. I don't have a timeline. I don't even have a clear purpose. This isn't about subscribers, though I certainly do care what you think. It isn't really even about feedback. It's about having a consistent place to put these feelings, this energy, this desire to make. When I left, the last video series of sorts, this story that started with the bibliomancer, was intended to have one more piece, one more video. And I sort of had visualized, though I wasn't really clear on what it would be entirely, sort of a final pass through a very empty, airy, overwhelming, almost like a building, like an office building. I don't know if you've ever seen the game Control, but sort of like the oldest house, this vast emptiness, this void, and finding a way through that. And I imagine some part of that came about in my thinking after the passing of my mother. And I'd had a little bit of time, a little bit of space to think about that. And that's 2 days after my last community post. My father passed. And naturally it threw me for a fucking loop. Naturally it really messed me up. And I'm still quite messed up about it. But also, it's been some time again. And I kept thinking I should do something, or I should at least finish this as like a cap to it all, or I didn't even know what I was thinking. I don't even know if I know what I'm thinking right now. It feels like even turning up again is something of a promise. Promise to, be consistent and sensible and feed the algorithm. All these things that I am pretty sure are not going to be something I'm capable of. Not in a long-term sense, but who knows, maybe I'm wrong. But right now it feels like a Mount Everest to climb. But, things have gone on in the background. Positive things have come into my life. We've had to do a lot of, without getting into it, just a lot of reorganization and moving, and truly, well, it has been the hardest year of my life. And I imagine I'm not alone in some of the painful realities of 2024 reaching those of you who might be listening to this. I'm not sure what I can offer. And so I've been going back and forth. I suppose if this gets posted, I've made at least that much of a decision. It's very easy to disappear into yourself. That's, I guess, the story I can tell. It's very easy to, when you're living on your own, become a hermit and surround yourself with memories and hurt. And, you can kind of make a little safety circle around yourself. And getting out of that, going back to life as normal. You can imagine me doing air quotes right now. Is sometimes it feels nigh on impossible. Sometimes it feels like you're just constantly fooling yourself. And sometimes grief, because I guess that's what I'm ultimately talking about. Sometimes it feels like a sudden shock of shame that you haven't been thinking about them at all. And then it pulls you inward to go look at photos and go stare at the ceiling and go wonder what they would be doing for the holidays, what it would be like if none of this had happened. But at the risk of invoking Gandalf unexpectedly here, I do realize that the path forward is a movement forward, even into the dark forest, even if the path is nigh on invisible. It's that movement, that's life, and I know they wouldn't want me to not do, not be, not try anymore. And that would never make them happy, and would never make me happy. So, I don't know how long this video is gonna be. There's obviously posting on New Year's Eve. Guess I should be talking about, what I want to say is talking about commandments, but it's the opposite of that. My resolutions. I don't really resolve anything. Grief is not a resolvable creature. Comes and goes as it pleases, curls up and sits on your chest when it pleases, and it runs away from your touch when you reach for it. Grief is a cat, one that you have to feed and look after and occasionally adore, occasionally sigh in deep frustration with. But it keeps its own schedule. Grief is a cat that walks by itself, and I've gotten to know her a little bit this year, and that's the thing about unresolved cats and grief. They're not like a story that has an end in sight. They just have an intermission, and I feel like I'm in that intermission now. And so if I come back and share stories again, even if there's no audience, and that's truly, truly okay, because it's the making, it's the trying, it's the hearing my own voice and believing there's something to it, something to the deliberation and the gentleness that soothes me. And if anyone else listens, finds this on the off chance, and a few dear hearts out there that know it will exist and might listen and find some calm in it, and that's all gravy to me. And yeah, the risk of turning this ramble into a therapy session, this is the state of it. A confused, happy, heartbroken speaker who is here in the moment, is here right now, wishes so much calm and comfort and hope for all of us. Doesn't really know how to make that happen, but is gonna do what she can, and whatever that means, thank you. Thank you for getting this far, and hopefully, your feedback, such as it may be, will help me figure out, how urgently this needs to continue. And if there is no feedback, which there may not be, really regardless, this will happen in my own time frame. There's no pressure to be had here. I think the concept of ASMR and pressure, they need to be mutually exclusive. I don't enjoy, urgency and the itchy feeling of, at any rate, we do what we do when we want to. And I think that motivation to make something, it's good stuff. So I'll wish that for you too. Follow your creative impulses if you have them, and find calm and peace and kindness as well. Thank you, and we'll just see. Happy 2025.